Hello, welcome, Vinyasa 45 Live. We're going to get started here in just a little bit. All you need is your mat and anything else that you want for class. Hello, Vinyasa 45 Live. We're going to begin in child's pose on our class. It's still Pinktober, right? So still got our pink on, still got our pink warriors going. Quick shout out to all the Midtown clubs throughout the nation for still posting and sharing these Instagram live classes. So shout out to Montreal, Rochester, Windy Hill, Weston, Willowbrook, and Chicago. And hello, Palestine. So let's go ahead, come right into child's pose on our mat. Great flow for you today. Since we're sporting the warrior, we're going to make sure we get each and every warrior pose in our sequence. Coming down, back of the mat. Balasana, child's pose, big toes to touch. Knees a little bit wider than those hips. And start right here with some gravity, okay? Let that seat really fall on top of the feet. So the front of the feet get this nice stretch. Maybe you also need to stretch the front of the shin there and then work the tops of the legs, right? The quadriceps. Once gravity takes over, you can start reaching forward. Notice if the butt wants to come with you, keep it back. Press those hip creases back and then reach forward. Let that forehead come down. If that forehead isn't quite reaching yet, you're still tight through the lower back, then just create something for the forehead to connect to. That forehead just floating there in space is somewhat of a misalignment, so you want to make sure you ground down. And then as you ground down there, physically, mentally, emotionally, perhaps creating some sort of intention for yourself. A lot of times we're telling ourselves, let's go easy on ourselves, do what feels right, and that is true. Always, always, always. But maybe today you rolled out your mat, maybe your mat had some expectations for you. So let's maybe focus today on meeting all those expectations that our mat expects from us. Right? Be the yogi the yoga mat wants you to be today. So there with your breath, breathing in and out, perhaps through the nose, Ujjayi pranayama, right? And as you start to listen up for that Ujjayi breath, you'll feel that slight constriction at the collarbone, right, at the glottis there, which creates this audible exhale. And that audible exhale should be loud enough for yourself to hear. And if you're in your room by yourself, maybe the person outside the door can hear that breath as well. So let's go there, onto our breath. We'll turn up the volume a little bit to compete with that breath, so you have to be a little louder. Let's rise up through hands and knees, tabletop. Stack those wrists underneath the shoulders, hug those knees hip-width distance apart, and then engage the core here. There's a tendency to just let that lower back drop, okay? Then those muscles have to do a lot more work than intended. So let's invite the muscles in the front side of the body to help out there, right? Teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. And then let's tuck the toes. Let's rock back and forth a few times. Again, just warming up through the bottoms of the feet, right? We're going to do some standing, right, in warriors, maybe some single leg balance. So we want our feet to be as prepared as possible. And then tuck those toes back under. Come into this cat-like back where you round a whole lot. Press into the shoelace side of the foot and float those knees a couple times. Every time you do, feel like someone's drawing you up. Right? Like they thread a needle through that belly button and pull you up. Couple more. Come back through hands and knees. Let's sway the lower back now. Coming into that cow pose, Bhutyalasana, bring the heart forward and out. Exhale, opposite action. Tuck the chin, round it in. Again, like that. Inhale, lengthen the intestines, look forward. Exhale, round it. Cat back. Find that neutral spine, tuck the toes. Lift those knees, rock a little bit side to side there on the mat. Drop those knees back down. Turn the left hand around so those left fingertips are facing you, and then sit back a little bit. Oh yeah, get that stretch through the front side there. Going back as far as you can where it feels okay. Come back around, shake it out. Other side. Turn the right fingertips towards you as much as you can. Reach back. Yeah, maybe you're recognizing a difference from one side to the other. No judgment about it, just honor it. And then come back around, shake it out. There we go. Tuck the toes, lift the knees again. Start to slink the hips back and up, straightening the legs. Backs of the legs working here. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Savasana. Pedal out the feet. Maybe roll at the ankles. Wiggle through the toes. Whatever you need here, first time through. Notice the ears between the arms. So even here, not jumping into that lower back. Still working that core. Look towards the pit of the belly. Energy will flow where the eyes go. As you press back through the heels, full breath there, inhale. Stay there, exhale. And then lift to the toes, look forward, gently make your way to the top of the mat. So come to the top of your space as you lift halfway. Nice flat back here. Fingertips may come to the shins if that's where you are. And then exhale, forward fold, bow it in. So the head is heavy. Shift the weight forward more into the toes. Let the chest get closer to the inner thighs. It's okay that those knees are bent. Right, over time they'll straighten. And then with that soft micro bend, let's slowly roll up. Again, don't let the lower back do all the work. Squeeze those inner thighs. Use the core to align the body here. And then circle sweep those arms up overhead. Palms come together. Exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to face you for this next one. Circle sweep those arms up. Grab a hold of that left wrist. Side reach over to the right. So get that lateral stretch here. Feel that separation of rib and hip. Come back through center, flip the grip. Exhale, other side. So reach, lengthen from one side to the other. Nice. Inhale, come back through center. We're going to cactus those arms. Send the heart forward and up. Little upper back bend here. And then exhale, hands alongside the body, mountain pose. So I'm going to come back to the top of my back. Big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, palms press forward and up, look up. Exhale, hands through heart center, Uttanasana. Try not to let those legs open up here. Forward fold, weight shifts forward into the toes. Inhale, halfway to lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend the knees, step back, top of a push-up, Kumbhakasana. Right, so keep that heart scaffolded here. No winging out through the shoulder blades. Core is tight. Let's press one heel back at a time. Staying in this plank. Pedal this plank out. Press through that heel. You've got it. Core still has to do a lot of work here. Then press through both heels. Hug those inner thighs towards one another. Full breath as you come up on the tips of the toes. Drop those knees. Bend those elbows, squeeze halfway down. Modification at Chaturanga. Now drop the hips. Slide those hands back, Bhujangasana. Send the heart forward and up, Low Cobra. Exhale, chin returns to the mat. Push up and back, Child's Pose. Just release the lumbar spine after that first one through. Rise back up through hands and knees, tabletop. Let's sway the lower back, Cow Pose, look forward. Exhale, scoop the belly, tuck the chin, round it in, cat back. Tuck those toes, neutral spine, float those knees, downward dog if you please. Here we go. Pedal out those feet, shake the head, no. Nod the head, yes. Yes, 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 we're ready. We're ready, mat, we're coming for you. Our yoga mat is there. Lift to the toes, look forward, step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift when you get there. Exhale, forward fold, bow it back in. Inhale, root to rise, arms to the skies, palms connect, big toes to touch. Exhale, hands to heart space. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, look forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, lead with the heart as you come down, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway to lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend the knees, step back, high plank, Kumbhakasana. Option to drop those knees like we did earlier, or halfway down, Chaturanga Dandasana, four-limb staff pose. Let's rock forward and back here in that four-limb staff pose. Oh yeah, that's not easy. Now, press forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, counter pose, downward facing dog. Full breath there, inhale. Maybe the heels press down, it's okay if they don't. Feel that energy shift that way, exhale. Lift to the toes, look forward, maybe one big step or hop to the top. Halfway lift when you get there, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow it back in, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms to the skies, palms connect. Exhale, hands to heart center. Here we go, full Namaskar A. Inhale, arms lift, look up, feel the ribs lift. Exhale, lead with the heart, forward fold, weight shifts into the toes. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, plant the palms. Exhale, step back, high plank, mid to low plank, yogi's choice. Inhale, upward dog, or perhaps cobra, or perhaps skipping it all together, going right to down dog. And if your down dog looks like child's pose, great. Be all your yoga mat wants you to be today. That's our mantra here. Of course, if you have a separate one, then you take that. Inhale, lift to the toes, look forward, hopper step to the top, breathe when you get there and lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, bow it in. Inhale, root to rise, arms to the skies, one breath, one movement, Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Vinyasa, maybe right into Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. There with your breath. So whether you're still flowing, holding in child's pose or down dog, connected by the Ujjayi breath. Here we go, lift to the toes, look forward, travel to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, bow it back in. Inhale, root to rise, arms to the skies, palms connect. One more, all the way through. Exhale, forward fold, lead with the heart. Inhale, halfway lift to the top. Exhale, Vinyasa. So soft bend in those elbows if you're dropping back into Chaturanga or stepping back into downward facing dog. Let's take another breath there. Inhale, settle in, exhale. Still feeling some tightness and you're still moving here, right? Do what feels good. From downward facing dog, let's lift to the toes. Soft bend in the knees. Send the chest close to those thighs. Move those hips a little bit side to side. Now press those heels down again, straighten the legs. Core is still tight, ears between the arms. Lift to the toes again, soft bend in the knees, look forward, hopper step to the top. Halfway lift when you get there. Exhale, bow it back in. Shift the weight into the heels, bend those knees, squat deep, Utkatasana, chair pose, power up. So the arms lift. And as those arms lift and you draw the palms together, you'll feel that stretch for the psoas muscle. Scoop the belly here a little bit like that cat back to lengthen through the back. Full breath here. Make sure those toes touch down. You should be able to see those toes when you look down. Bring the hands to the heart. Relax the ankles, sink 1 inch deeper. Now, bring those arms back up. Full breath there. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Vinyasa, bend the knees, look forward, flow back. Inhale, upward dog if you're flowing through. Exhale, downward dog, you do you. Let's start with the right leg high, 3-legged dog. Lift it high to the sky. Now stack the hip by bending at that knee. Peek under that left armpit as you roll at that ankle. Square the hips back up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right foot forward by the right hand. Drop that back heel in and down. Our first warrior of the day, warrior 1, Virabhadrasana A. Arms come all the way up. So shoulders and hips are squared off to the short end of the mat. And you don't have to be in a tightrope here, right? If you feel that back pinky toe coming up, set it down, widen your stance. Lift the heart up, look up. Full breath here, inhale. We're going to stay this first time through. Another breath here, inhale. On the exhale, interlace the fingers at the small of the back. Shoot that fist away from the back. Come forward just to hover. Just hover over that front thigh. Now drop that left hand down. Spin that left heel high. Twisted dragonfly, right arm lifts. Might feel a stretch in the back of that right leg. Exhale, left knee down, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Arms come over the head. So feel that opening through that left hip flexor. Feel that deepening, strengthening through that right hip flexor. Full breath here. Inhale. Exhale, vinyasa, hands down. Frame the right foot, step it back. Go through or flow through your way to downward dog. Look towards the pit of the belly. Take a full breath there. Inhale. Stay for that exhale. Send that left leg high to the sky. Bend the knee in a way that stacks your hip open. Look under that right armpit for that foot. Keep the shoulders square. Lift it back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, warrior one. Left foot forward, back foot in and down. So you're low to the ground. Stay low to the ground, but lift that upper body. Arms lift overhead. Palms connected. You're welcome to bring those hands apart, of course. Draw that right shoulder forward a little bit more. Take another breath here. Inhale. Feel free to drop that head back. The exhale interlaces the fingers. Non-dominant thumb comes on top. Shoot that fist away. And then exhale, we hold and hover. So we're just hovering here. We extend that back leg as much as we can. Shoulders one more time, square to the short end of the mat. We release the bind, right hand down, left arm lifts, twisted dragonfly. So already starting to feel that stretch through the back leg. And then drop that right knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, low lunge, arms lift. So if you're all ready to go a little deeper, then wiggle that front foot forward and go a little deeper, keeping that front shin long from the ankle up. Full breath here, inhale. Exhale, vinyasa, hands down, frame the front foot your way, Adho Mukha Savasana. Don't drive by the breath. Make sure you take it. Downward facing dog. That was quite a long Surya Namaskar B. That's okay. Lift to the toes, look forward, travel to the top of the mat. Halfway lift when you get there. Exhale, bow it back in, forward fold. Weight into the heels, Utkatasana, power up. Utkatasana translates to power. Take the power here. You've got it. Full breath here, inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart, sink a little deeper. I've been doing this one a lot because I want you to feel those psoas stretch. Inhale, arms lift. Feel the intercostal muscles open up. Exhale, forward fold, bow it in. Inhale, halfway to lift, flat back. Exhale, look forward as you go back, flow back your way, downward dog. Now, vinyasa, as we mentioned, means to place in a special way. So you are going to place your body in a special way on your mat. The way your yoga mat is hoping and wanting you to today. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Stack the hip, bend the knee. Feel the gravity in that right foot. Inhale, down dog split. Exhale, warrior one. So we've been here before. Familiarity, releasing some vulnerability, and gaining some stability. Virabhadrasana A. Interlace the fingers, shoot that fist back, hover, hold. Release the bind, left hand down, right arm to the sky, twisted dragonfly. Not so linear, feel free to open that chest to the ceiling. Exhale, back knee down, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Arms come up overhead, open the heart. Little upper back bend. Exhale, vinyasa, hands down. Maybe three-legged vinyasa, right? Whatever you're doing today. For you. For your mat. What you need. What it's requesting. Inhale, left leg lifts. Stack the hip, bend the knee, roll at that ankle. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, warrior one. The fun has begun. Here we go. Arms lift. Exhale, non-dominant thumb. Open up. Bow it in. Hold hover. Feel that fist reach in opposition of the crown and the head. Release the bind. Right hand down. Twisted dragonfly. Roll the heart to the sky. Exhale. Back knee touches down. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. One of the only female postures. Exhale. Hand down. Step that left foot back or float it back. Your chaturanga. Inhale. Don't drive by that breath. Exhale. Release it at any time. Great work. From the bottom of the breath, lift to the toes, look forward, travel to the top of the mat. Halfway lift when you get there. Exhale, bow it back in. Let's squat deep, chair pose. So go ahead, massage your ankles when you're there. Releasing the ankles will release the hips, right? Tension in the ankle causes tension in the hip. And we know what tension in the hip does. Bring the hands to the heart. Release the ankles again. Let's lift that right ankle high and then left. Sink a little deeper. Lift those arms up again. Full breath. Utkatasana. Exhale. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Inhale. Halfway to lift. Exhale. Vinyasa. Bend the knees. Look forward. Travel back your way. Down dog. Got a new float for you now. We did warrior one. We've got a different one. Inhale, send that right leg high to the sky. Bend the knee, stack the hip. Option to play here a little bit. Maybe float that right hand away. Right hand floating or not, bring that right foot to the top of the mat. Right away, go into Skandasana. So we turn the right toes and we get deep transverse lunge or side lunge. Back heel lifts. This is an option, right? Modify. Otherwise, get deep here. First time through, we hang out a little bit. Then we're going to go right into twisted dragonfly. So left hand down, we lift up again. We're going to take that Skandasana from the right and take it all the way to the left. So here we go. Back side of the mat. Maybe we play with a little balance here. Right? You're on your mat. You can do what feels right. Bind, whatever, right? What is your yoga mat expecting from you? What did you tell it you were going to do today? Let's bring that left hand down. Inhale, right arm lifts, open up. Right? We're taught this whole month, right? Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Open through the chest, a whole lot. Now we're going to have a seat. That right hand's going to come down behind us. Have a seat. Press that left foot, right foot, and right hand into the ground. Lift yourself all the way up. Open up. Upper back bend here. Come back down to the ground. Come right back up into Skandasana. Use your back hand to get there if you need to, or eventually take it away. Let's slither back to the front of the mat. Here we go. Twisted dragonfly. Reach that right arm long behind your back. Point those right fingertips down. Inhale, exalted warrior. Left arm lifts. Here we go. Open up. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana B. So, we have warrior 1, exalted warrior, now in warrior 2. Reach forward. Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. This might be enough here, or maybe you reach up over the ear. Right? Take a modification or Utthita extended variation. Take it up and back. So sweep that long left arm behind your back. Maybe wrap it around. Right arm lifts, reverse your warrior. Exhale, we come around again. Twisted dragonfly one more time. Full breath here. Inhale. Exhale, Skandasana, back of the mat. Just to spring us forward into high crescent lunge. Inhale, square up the shoulders and hips, back heels lifted. From high crescent lunge, here we go. Warrior C, Virabhadrasana 3. So Dikasana, the arms are floating behind you like airplane. You can bring your hands to your heart. You can reach them forward, right? Whatever works for you, whatever frame you're in. And then squat deep, chair pose, Utkatasana, hands to the heart. Let's take that right elbow, hook it outside the left thigh. Chair prayer. Woo, wringing it out. Here we go. Exhale, forward fold, bow it in. Inhale, halfway to lift, look forward. Exhale, go back, flow back your way, downward dog. Yes, all that stuff on the other side. From Adho Mukha Savasana, Ekapada, left leg comes high. Stack the hip, bend the knee. Option to play or stay. Maybe floating that left arm. Maybe you just flipped your dog. That's cool. Left arm stays lifted or not as you bring that left foot to the top of the mat. Yeah. And then from there, we go right into Skandasana. So, get that side lunge. Lift that back heel high. Then we spin it around, twisted dragonfly. Open up. Rotate the chest to the ceiling. Exhale, we come back through Skandasana. And we travel to the back of the mat. Here we go. So we're in Skandasana on the other side. Just moving so you can see me. So perhaps we play, right, with that floating balance. Full breath there, inhale. Stay for that exhale. This time, right hand comes down, left arm lifts. We're opening up across the chest. Also opening across that back. Now, as we have a seat, that left hand comes down. Pressing into the left heel. The right foot, we push on and up. Open up. Beautiful work. Full breath there. Inhale. Exhale, we take it back down. With or without those hands, we come right back up, Skandasana. Travel back to the top of the mat. Twisted dragonfly. Nice. From there, we're going to open up. Warrior 2. Arms to a T, Virabhadrasana B. And then a spiral right back down again. Twisted dragonfly, because I forgot exalted warrior. Reach that left arm behind you. Really extend that arm. And then inhale, take it up. Exalted warrior. Beautiful. So it's a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a back bend. Now we open up warrior 2, arms to a T, Virabhadrasana B. Feel as if someone's pulling your arms in both directions, and then melt those shoulders down. Reach forward, Parsha Konasana. Modification of side angle or extended variation. The inhale, we come up, we sweep that right arm long behind the back, or we hook it, we bind, reverse that warrior. Nice. Exhale, we spin it around again, twisted dragonfly. Take that side lunge, Skandasana. And then pivot forward into high crescent lunge. Back heel lifts high, as do the arms. Weight shifts into that front foot. Warrior C, Virabhadrasana 3. So any variation that works for you. You can have a soft bend in that front leg. Really reach through that back leg. Hands maybe to prayer. As you squeeze those hands in, you press your foot down into the mat. Full breath there, inhale. Exhale, feet meet, squat deep, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands through heart space. Now we hook to the other side. So as you hook, bring the hands towards the chest and isolate through the hips and the knees. Don't have them go with you. Bring it out, full breath here, inhale. Exhale to relax and fold a little deeper. As if your back is a spiral staircase. It's long and it's spiraling. Forward fold, bow it in, chin to shin. Inhale, halfway to lift. Exhale, go back, flow back your way, down dog. We're going to take that entire flow, one breath, one movement, but stay where you want to stay. There's a lot of parts. I'm going to try not to screw it up this time. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Stack the hip, bend the knee, float it, flip it, whatever you got. Bring that right foot forward. Inhale, Skandasana. Get deep. Maybe you're playing or staying. Twisted dragonfly, spin it around, right arm high. And then yoga walk to the back of the mat, Skandasana, other side. Right, deep transverse lunge here. Left hand down, right arm lifts, open up. Right hand down, here we go, left arm lifts, lift it up. A little bit of a wild thing. Come back down, Skandasana to come up. Twisted dragonfly to the top of the mat. Right arm behind the back, inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, warrior 2, arms to a T, Virabhadrasana B. Reach forward, side angle posture. Take it around the back and reverse. Exhale, twisted dragonfly again. Side lunge one more time to the back of the mat. Just to sling it forward, here we go. High crescent lunge, back heel lifts high. Hands to heart center, Digasana, airplane or warrior 3. Exhale, feet meet, squat deep, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, prayer chair to the right. Full breath here, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Unless you're taking something else, take it. Inhale, halfway to lift. Exhale, wipe that slate clean as you go to the other side. Flow through. You do you. From downward dog at Kapata, left leg lifts. Stack the hip, bend the knee. Float it, flip it. Whatever feels good, flaunt it. Step that left foot forward. Inhale, right away, Skandasana. Lift the heart up. Exhale, twisted dragonfly, left arm to the sky. From Skandasana to the front of the mat, take it to the back of the mat. Be all your mat wants you to be, right? Inhale, lift that left arm up, open through the chest. Exhale, left hand down, butt comes down, and then lift yourself up. Little bit of a wild thing, whatever sort of back bend feels good here. Butt comes back down to the mat. With or without that back hand, you come back up through side lunge. Bring it back to the top of the mat, twisted dragonfly. Long left arm reaches behind the back, exalted warrior. Right, we got all the warriors today. Open up, warrior two. Virabhadrasana B, arms to a T. Reach forward, side angle posture. Parsha Konasana. Reverse that warrior. Keep the integrity of the bend in the legs and the hips. The integrity of the breath. The integrity of your intention. Exhale, we spin it back around one more time, twisted dragonfly. One more, side lunge to the back of the mat. To slingshot us back to the front, high crescent lunge. Lift those arms high with that back heel. Weight shifts into the front foot. Warrior three, Virabhadrasana C. Full breath there, inhale. Exhale, feet meet, squat deep. Utkatasana. Hands to the heart. This girl that I used to teach with used to always say, Utkatasana. I always thought it was funny. Twist here, twisted chair. Full breath here, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. I'm digging this music. Inhale, halfway to lift. Exhale. Now, on the exhale, we're bending the knees. We're letting the knees hold our body up, okay? Just feel that. Arms kind of hang. Knees are holding the upper body. Now plant those palms in front of you, okay? Shift up onto the toes. Just feel that weight shift forward. Just keep shifting that weight forward. So you can see where we can go from here. Right? This is prep for crow pose. And if you want to go there, then you're going to lift up on those toes, those knees, just kind of suckle underneath those armpits. And maybe you lift one foot, maybe you lift the other foot. Maybe you keep the toes tapping down. Draw those knees in close to the butt. Keep breathing. Come down, go back, flow back, whatever feels good for you. Play with it a little bit there. Go ahead, take a couple times to play with it. I want you to see how it feels. Great work. You guys are looking awesome. Okay, here we go. From crow pose or not, we're coming down onto the knees. We're gonna stand tall. Bring the hands to the small of the back, kind of rub the back there, should feel good. Press those hips forward some more. And if you're at home and you're by a wall, go ahead and go right up to the wall. What I want you to do is feel as if the front side of your body is Velcroed to this wall. And as you start to reach back, you shouldn't hear that Velcro ripping sound, okay? That's not what we're doing here. We're not getting a good quad stretch or strengthening, okay? We are opening the heart forward and up. And so the fingertips might just reach back for the heels. Or maybe you have a block there. But in no way are we hearing that Velcro sound to come back. We press those hips forward. We keep them glued to the wall. Let the head go back. Slowly bring the chin to the chest and have a seat between the feet. So again, at home, another opportunity to try that. Or if you want to try crow again. Crow is another one that you can do with that head forward to a wall, right? Or maybe just put a pillow underneath your head in case you think you're gonna face plant. You're really not that far from the floor, okay? So opportunity there to take one of those two options again or play with them later. But the body's nice and warm for all that twisting, so it's a great time to do that. We're gonna add on to camel. Again, any problems with the knees, you can always just roll that mat over and bring those knees onto it. Remember, your mat is there for you. Just as it's waiting and expecting for you to do something good here today, it's there for you. So I tuck my toes under here. You're welcome to keep the feet flat. I don't have very long arms. Press those hips forward again. Bring just the left hand towards the heel or towards the block or keep it at the back. lift that right arm up. Now sweep that right arm long across your back and keep reaching back. Now lift that left arm up. A little bit of a twisted in this camel. Exhale, slowly come back down. Woo, did anyone else feel that? Great stretch there. We got to do the other side. Take a moment, avoid any lightheadedness if you need to stay there a little bit longer. Otherwise, we're going to come back up through hands and knees. Tuck in the toes if you please. Reach that right hand back for the heel. Press those hips forward, lift that left arm up. So it's just half a camel here, reaching that left arm wherever you can, and then sweep that left arm long behind your back. Nice long arm here. Then float that right arm up. It's a little bit of a twisted camel. Really good. Exhale, slowly come back down. Woo! So you'll know in your body if it's too much for you, right? Discomfort, you can play with a little bit, but be careful of teetering towards that pain threshold, right? Listen up for that breath. That breath will be a great cue as well. And then from here, we're going to sweep those legs around in front of you. Some pretty intense back bends, so we need some pretty intense forward bends. Dandasana is where we sit up nice and tall. We press the hands into the ground. Now, if you have long arms, you're seeing a soft bend in your elbow here. Or if you have really short arms, you might have your hands on some blocks. Bring those toes towards the nose. Sit up nice and tall here. We've got 3 bandhas working. We got that mula bandha, that grounding bandha. We've got that uddiyana bandha, which is this uplifting motion, almost as if it's lifting that heart up. And then we're going to add Jandahara bandha, where we tuck the chin. I like to think of bobbing for apples in fall. I don't know. So pretend you've got an apple there underneath the chin. That's Jandahara bandha. But what that bandha does for you is now there's this great big lock in the body. So although, right, to the naked eye, it looks like we're just sitting here, we're really active. So active that if we press our hands forward and look forward, we should be able to float ourselves up. Right? And then we're going to play with that even further. Take that left ankle, bring it up over that right leg. Not necessarily in lotus, more like figure 4 or pigeon. Bring those hands down again and lift forward and up. Figure 4 Dandasana. Bring it back down. Now bring that left foot inside the right leg. Square the shoulders and hips to that right ankle and fold forward, Janu Sirsasana. So from here, start to reach where you're not reaching from the lower back. So there's still this anterior tilt of the pelvis, the butt slides back, the heart comes forward. If you need to bend that knee to get there, then do so. Bring it in, chin to shin. Nice. Keep breathing there. And then think for a moment about that twisted camel that we took. Take that left hand around the outside of that right leg. Sweep that right arm around and twist, trying to bring that left ear down to your leg. And then if that feels okay, big movement here. You can bend that leg, start to lift that leg. Keep twisting, keep pulling, keep breathing. Slowly bring that leg back down to the ground. Woo! Bring that left leg up, extend it long, shake it out. Nice. Hands come alongside the body again. Dandasana number 2. So feel that grounded bandha. Feel that upward lifting bandha. Feel that chin lock. Hands press down. Maybe they come forward. You lift forward and up. Notice that lift you can get. Send it back down. That's just a practice with that lift. Now figure 4 option. Cross that right ankle over the left thigh. That hip might be really high. You might be really tight there. I am this week, so you just let it go. And then we stay or play here. Hands come down again. Figure 4 Dandasana. Press down and up. Lift yourself up. Set it back down, and then bring that right foot inside the left inner thigh. Square those hips and shoulders towards that left ankle. Feel those hip creases. Anterior tilt of that pelvis, and then keep coming forward. Forward to the place where your body says, I need to stay here. Right? So, by being all our yoga mat wants to be, that means listening to your body, right? Who did your yoga mat think you were when you rolled your mat out today? Live up to the expectations of your mat, but know that your mat wants the best for you. There with your breath to get you deeper. Inhale, halfway lift, thinking back to that twist. Right hand comes outside that left foot. Left arm sweeps around the back. And then we pull it in. Maybe we bring that right ear down to the leg. And then stay or play. Here we go. With that twist, with that lift, we extend that leg, we lift it up. Open up, turn around. Keep pressing into that foot, keep lifting it high. Exhale, slowly bring it back down. Both legs forward again. One more full breath here. Inhale, sit up tall. Relax those legs now. Let it go. We're going to take a very yin-like forward fold. So this one, we still come forward first, right, with that interior tilt of the pelvis, but then we just let it go. So we can round here. We can ground here. Do what feels most natural to your body. Stay here for 5 deep breaths, Ujjayi or otherwise. The bottom of that last breath, we lift the head, we use the hands to help us all the way back up. Soft bend in the legs, and we use our hands to bring us all the way down to the mat. With the soft bend in the legs, we gently bring the knees into the chest, big squeeze. Exhale, kiss the knees. Little rock there side to side on that sacrum. Let the knees fall over to the right, supine twist, just to let gravity do a little bit more work there. Slowly bring those legs back through center. One more lemon squeeze, close to the knees. Let it fall to that other side. So physically, these poses might get easier towards the end, but perhaps emotionally or mentally, when we become more still, there's other sorts of obstacles and distractions. Bring those legs back through center again. One more big squeeze. And just like when those poses get hard physically, we ground down either with breath or some sort of focal point. Let it go. Bring those arms up overhead. Nice big stretch. And then when the poses aren't so difficult physically, coming into your Shavasana, same idea. We can ground down here with our breath. perhaps with that intention. Being all that your yoga mat wants you to be in Shavasana. Peaceful, still, silent. So take a moment there. In your Shavasana, in your own space, of course you're welcome to stay there. If you're ready to come up, bring some gentle movement to the fingers and the toes. Slowly roll through the wrists and the ankles. Help yourself up in your way, in your time, comfortable seated pose of your choice. Grounding your practice with gratitude for yourself, for rolling out your mat and being all it expected you to be. Remember, it's not always where the road leads you, but it's where you've come down that road so far. So give yourself a little pat on the back along the way. Namaste. Thank you for joining Vinyasa 45 Live. We'll see you next week. Remember to continue to think pink, and I'll see all you warriors soon. Have a great day.